the road to 50 million. I use this picture, this glorious picture of a stadium in the background full of countless people. It's a big stadium. And if you can see behind me, that's if I go the right way. There you go. Someone's there on stage, and it's a beautiful opportunity, and that's why I wanted to talk about your voice today. You know, um, your voice. That's all you really have. Okay? Your voice is the choice of expression of your being. Your being, who you're being. Are you being happy? Are you being honest? Are you being truthful? Are you being loving? Are you being open? Are you being angry? Are you being bitter? Are you being full of resentment? Are you being fearful? All those ways of being, we all have experienced them all, and we do it most of the time reactively based on what's happening around us and all that kind of stuff, right? And we don't give a lot of thought most of the time to choosing our being and choosing our voice. But your voice is simply the truth of your being. It is the expression. And sometimes your voice is without even using the vocal cords, this vocal apparatus. Your voice is simply the energy that emanates from your being. It is your presence in the world. And so if my presence in the world is frustrated because something didn't go the way I want it to, then that is my voice. It is a voice of frustration, a voice of contraction, a voice of smallness, a voice of, oh, and fear and all that negativity. That is a voice if I'm having a feeling of frustration. And you know what? I don't even have to use the vocal cords. If I show up in a room, try this. I mean, you don't even have to try it. You know what I'm talking about. If you show up and you look down or you look up or you smile or you don't, or you ignore people or you interact, that is your voice. Okay? The voice that you bring. Let's think of the voice as the expression of your beingness, your inner weather, your inner landscape is what you are being. That is the energy. Your being is your energy that you're carrying, and the voice is the projection of that into the world. Now, you can try to hide that projection. You can amplify that projection. You can share it on purpose. You can try to camouflage it. You can try to pretend it's something else. And we all have done all those things, right? And that is your voice. And here's the reason I want to talk about voice today is because your voice is the most important expression of who you are. It's the only expression of who you are. Think about it. The voice that you have, whether it makes sound or not, is the only expression of your beingness. So I'm thinking of your voice as the expression of who you're being in the world. Now, if you go have a job and you're a high-ranking executive or a mid-level manager or a frontline employee, the way you show up to work is your voice. The voice of cooperation, the voice of, oh, I don't like being here, crap, when this is day over. The voice of excitement, ooh, this is good. The voice of talking about Christmas. The voice of lamenting about the lack of Christmas. The voice of loneliness. The voice of friendship. The voice of kindness. And all that can happen with or without articulation from the vocal cords. Your voice is your presence in the world. That is your voice. Whether you cultivate it, ignore it, pretend it away, bang on it, or develop it and articulate it powerfully. I get an email nearly every day from a friend, Chris Doris, and he sends me a mental toughness in 30 seconds or less. And I love his emails. Okay, and I send an email nearly every day. I'm not quite as regular as he is, called Purpose, Prosperity, and Joy in 1 minute. And that is a voice that I have. I want you to write down right now, what are your voices? What are the expressions of your voice? Okay, do you write things? Do you put posts up? Do you write in a journal? You know what? If you write in a journal and fold it up and put it away, you're still expressing your voice. You're putting your energetic voice in the world. And you can pretend that you're not, but it's still there. It's in your journal. It's funny if you think about Harry Potter, right? And the second movie was The Chamber of Secrets and Tom Riddle's diary in there. And if you don't know Harry Potter lore, then excuse the reference. But anyway, his projection in the world in that diary was way more than the words on the page. And there was magic associated with it and feeling and seduction, and it caused people to do things and all kinds of stuff. Your voice is the same. You, me, we have the opportunity to create the world with our voices. And we live in this despair, most of us, most of the time. And I realize I'm not talking to everybody, so I'm going to talk to different groups. Most people live in a voice of despair. My voice doesn't matter. I can't do anything. It won't matter anyway. And besides that, the world's crapping on me and kicking me around and things are tough. Well, when lots of us live in that kind of voice, then no wonder the air is negative, fear is rampant, discouragement is the order of the day, and everything else. Now, you and I, we don't control each other's voice. I can't control your voice, but I'm encouraging you with all my heart to discover, to count the ways you're using your voice, and ask yourself a simple question. Are you doing with your voice what you want? Are you sending the message in the world, into the universe, to the neighbor, to the person sitting next to you, or to yourself? Are you sending the message you mean to send? Or are you sending inadvertent signals because you're not paying attention? I did that all the time. I lived so focused on what I was thinking or needed or wanting or whatever. I wasn't paying attention hardly at all to the voice that I was sending in the world. Now, there's another group of people that are paying a great deal of attention to the voice. Those people know the voice that they're sending out, whether it has sound or music to it or painting or writing or the way you show up energetically at work or anything else. That is your voice. And some people know the voice that they're sending, and they're cultivating it and they're sending it on purpose. So if you want to have a life that you love every day, a life of purpose, where you know and you're cultivating and living into your purpose, a life of prosperity where you have all that you need, cash, friends, spirituality, kindness, love, acceptance. If you want to have that, if you want to have joy, pay attention to the voice that you send in the world, because you and me, we create the world that we live in. I've said that like I don't know how many times on these broadcasts, but I'm saying it again because I want you to think about this stadium. This is an outdoor stadium, and it's a big stadium, right? And there's someone out there singing, and then there's maybe 100,000 people in the stands because it's outdoors and it's big. So there's 100 and something thousand people in those stands. And you know what? Every one of those people is having a different experience. Maybe someone came because they kind of like this performer and it's just kind of apathetic. Maybe someone doesn't like this particular song, and what their experience is right now is it's cold and the weather's not as good. Maybe someone else is having the experience that, where they're sitting, the acoustics aren't all that good and there's too much reverb and they can't really enjoy it. Maybe someone else is simply in rapt tears flowing down their face because of the emotion and the power of the song. Whether they can hear it that good or not, it's connected to some other experience they've had, and so they're having this incredible experience. And every range of things in between. So every person in that stand out there is having their own experience. And you know where that experience is coming from? It's coming from inside their heart and inside their head. They're all sitting in the same stadium, in the same weather, watching the same performer, doing exactly the same things. Yet their experience is completely unique. That's what it means to create your life. So I can go down the street and go to the park and it's snowy and cold. Some people can do sledding and have fun, and other people can sit there and shiver and think it's a terrible day. So that's how we create our life, independent of the external circumstance. And yet, most of the time, we believe, we live in the idea, or we slip in and out of the idea that whether we got what we needed for Christmas, or our bank accounts are empty, or creditors are banging on the door, or our business is or isn't working, that somehow determines our life experience. I have lived like that for most of my life, that negative way, where my life experience was, I allowed it to be determined by externalities, whether or not I was sick, whether or not I was in rehab or addicted, or whether or not I was having a good time in the relationship that I was in. All those things were somebody else's doing and fault, and I was simply there having the experience imposed on me by all this stuff. Since I learned and changed my approach, I have a beautiful experience every day. Every day. I have a wonderful, fabulous, happy, joyful, jump up and down, sing and dance experience every day. I wouldn't trade that ability for anything. So here's what I want to do about your voice. I want to encourage you to, one, think about, write down if you're willing, the number of places and ways you express your voice, your energetic stamp. That's your voice, your energetic stamp in the world, whether or not you use your vocal cords. Okay, where are the places? Number two, are you expressing the voice in the world that you want? Are you leaving the energetic imprint in the world that you mean to? Maybe yes, maybe no, but most of us it's unknowing or unwitting. Number three, I challenge you to intentionally think about the voice that you're using. Is it a voice of encouragement? Is it a voice of love? Is it a voice of building? Is it a voice of growth? Is it a voice of expansion? Or is it a voice of fear, a voice of contraction, a voice of apathy, a voice of negativity, a voice of entitlement, a voice of bitterness, a voice, lack of, forgiveness, a voice of grudges? What is the voice you have? Be aware of it. And my challenge to you is send a voice, an energetic stamp in the world on purpose. Cultivate your ability. If you learn what your voice is and you learn to be aware of the energetic stamp you put on things, and including, of course, your voice, the sound that comes out of your throat, whether you're speaking or singing or whatever, if you're aware of it, you intentionally choose to create an energetic stamp or a voice of positivity, love, opportunity, possibility, growth, bright future, and all that stuff, I can promise you you'll be happier. What else I can promise you is that things begin to happen for you, because like attracts like. If you put an energetic voice in the world that's positive and good things happen. I can tell you that just from this experience. Now, I've been doing these Road to 50 Million now for about 45 days. And in this 45 days, stuff has happened unexpectedly, directly as a result of my choice to sit here in front of my computer and a microphone with nobody in the room, think of a topic, talk to you, and send love into the world. Just doing that has brought stuff unexpected that I didn't even predict back to me from the universe and from people acting on promptings from the universe and all that stuff. So your voice, the choices you make about the energetic stamp or the voice you put in the world matter. Now, part two of this is beyond understanding that it matters, being aware of it and choosing your voice on purpose. I want to tell you, this Road to 50 Million thing is about helping you on purpose use your voice to create good. Your most powerful voice is connected with your divine gifts. The most powerful way I or you can impact the world is to discover what our divine gifts are, because if we use those and we amplify them with our voice, intentional choices about our energetic stamp, what we speak, how we show up, what we look like, and everything else, we can do good. We can cause good to happen. When you cause good to happen, you get rewarded. You get rewarded by how people act, and you also get rewarded with money. Money follows value. If you create value incessantly, you get paid. You just do. Okay. And so when entrepreneurs come to me all the time and they say, oh, I have a message, I want to write a book or create a course, or I want to do this, I want to help people. That's my favorite one. I want to help people. Okay, the answer is yes, you can. Yes, you can get paid. Yes, you can create a business if you want to. But there are steps. It doesn't happen automatically. The person on this stage behind me, they didn't get there accidentally. They just didn't wake up one day and say, I'm going to go sing to 100,000 people. They worked and they did all the work that's necessary. And then now they're sitting in front of 100,000 people standing and singing and all of the things that come with that. So your voice is your most important tool. It's your most beloved and most powerful thing. And you're willing to express it is the lever, is the key, is the leverage point to creating in a positive way, like you can have a hateful, negative voice. I'm not even talking to those people. Choosing to have a positive voice, to add good to the world, to do good, be good, encourage good, love people, lift, bless, serve. That will help you create a life of purpose, prosperity, and joy. Now, my road to 50 million is just about helping 50 million of you, 50 million people. Big number. Came to me in an inspiration in October. So from October 14th behind to October 14th in front, I'm helping 50 million people any way I can. So this is one tiny way I'm using my voice to encourage you to use your voice, to lift, to bless, to serve. If you're already doing that every way you can think of, man, I want to talk to you because I have all kinds of opportunities for us to work together. I have a podcast. I have a television show. I have another video show that's going to show up pretty soon on LA Talk Radio. So I have all kinds of opportunities where we together can leverage our voices to do good. Number two, if you want help, if you want help learning how to create income or help learning how to create a bigger impact or help learning how to reach out and find people, all of those, I'm an expert at it and I can help you, I promise. And number three, if you want to help me reach my 50 million, then I want to talk also. Today is about your voice. Find it, use it, sing the song you came to sing because the world needs your melody. We'll see you tomorrow.